What's going on, guys? I'm back with another one. And I just watched a movie called Silent Night, starring Joel Kinnaman, Catalina Sandino, and Harold Torres. I survived that. I actually survived the list of names. Congrats. First of all, whatever happened to Christian Bale? Yes, we all know her as Veronica Mars. That's all we know her as. Well, that's not all we know her as, but that's all I see when I see her anything else. And that's still the way I see her, as Veronica, dry ass sense of humor, Veronica Mars. Okay, so after that had to be peeled out of my image, had to be peeled out of my mind for a minute, I started to realize she actually had a sense of humor outside of that dry ass Veronica Mars. And the first good example of that was in 2004, Veronica Mars. Yeah, I just said that was the show she got from, but ride with me here. Come on with me here. This is a show that introduced me to Christian Bale. Okay, this is the first image I see of Christian Bale. She's going around high school solving crimes and whatnot like that. The most important saga in the show was finding out what happened to her at the party with the football players and the sketchy stuff they did to her. It was really messed up. But I hate to say, it was the most interesting plot in the show. After that, after finding out what really happened, it just kind of went downhill. All right, and I stopped watching it because it got stupid. Okay. But yes, that was the stepping block, the first stepping block to learning about Christian Bale as an actress. Then in 2005, Super Madness movie musical came out. Okay, I can't say the actual title because of reasons. Don't worry about that. Just know that besides that, I just don't want to shake up YouTube's little boundaries right now. Okay? Put it like that. This movie made me realize that she actually has somewhat of a sense of humor outside of the sarcastic, dry Veronica Mars. Okay, and I was relieved to find that out. This teased that old movie that was by the same title in the 1960s or 30s or whatever it was, about just warning people about super. Okay, and this is a parody of that. And everything in this was just plain out hilarious. Even her role, especially her role, because there's a certain scene in the movie where you're just kind of shocked and there's no warning. There's no warning to it. When you watch this movie, you're not prepared. I was like, oh, so she's like that too. She's like that. That's good to know that she is uninhibited in that way. Love that movie. I'm going to watch it again when I get a chance, though. 2008, Forgetting Sarah Silverman came out. She kind of goes back to the Cold B character with this one, because her character was just horrible in this movie. I wanted no part of that. She just, every time she was around, she was so frigid and it's unbearable. Okay, the only funny scene she had in that film was where they were having the whole sex competition, or from room to room, and all the fake moaning and screaming to see who can moan the loudest and all that crap. That was hilarious. But besides that, she did nothing else for me in that film. And I guess that was the point, because she's the ex-girlfriend, but she's horrible. She's horrible in that movie. Really. Then in 2009, Couples Retreat came out. I completely forgot she was even in this film. All right. The only people who stand out in this film are Faison Love, Jason Bateman, and that other guy. You know what I'm talking about. All right. Those three made all the laughs come true throughout the entire movie. Christian Bale was a speck on that cast list compared to those three. All right, so she kind of went under the radar with this one. All right. Then in 2010, Burlesque came out. Unfortunately, I watched that twice. It was not even meant to be watched once. Guarantee you that. I got tricked into watching the first time. They said, hey, check this out. I was already at their house. We were chilling and I watched it and I regret watching that. Then the second time someone suggested to me again. I forgot I saw that movie, went home and watched it. Ah, they got me again. They got me twice. The only thing I can say about her character in this movie is that she's kind of that bad guy again, not like Saving Sarah Silverman bad guy, but it's a little darker. It's a little more on a jealousy thing going on here with the little dancers and whatnot. So she's playing that kind of character in this one, okay? Not much to say about her other than that. All right. Then in 2012, House of Lies came out. I never really saw this show, not the entire show. I saw clips here and there on YouTube. Looks like an interesting show. All the characters are a piece of crap. I kind of like shows like that, as you can tell. And Don Cheadle's on there doing what he does best with his sarcasm, and so is she. And they just seem like horrible people. And sometimes that makes for the best humor. I hate to say it. And so when I get a chance, I'm going to definitely sit down and watch this show. All right. No Lies, like House of Lies. Then in 2016, last but not least, we have Bad Moms. Now, yes, I did actually watch this movie. It is hilarious. All three characters in this movie did the role they were supposed to do. Now, Christian Bale played this kind of a shy mother with the 5 kids and all this, and the husband was kind of a D. And she could take it for so long, and she kept her mouth shut and did what she was told. And then she just started kind of coming out the seams with the jokes and what she really thought about her husband and her life and how she lived and what she really wanted to do, and all her inhibitions that she had hidden inside of her the entire time were just coming out slowly. It was like a slow buildup, and that was actually funny to watch. So kudos to her in that last scene. All right. And now the question is, what is she gonna do now? Now, yes, there's some show on Netflix that she had one season for, I think, and called That Woman Across the Street in That House Over There, Across the Way, in the Hood, Down the Way, whatever it was called. All right. It looks interesting. I saw little previews. It looks interesting. Maybe I'll watch it, whatever, but it kind of stopped at the one season, I think. So why is that? But besides that, will she ever do anything else currently or soon? All right. Or just continue that show? Well, we'll find out later on down the line. Let's get to the review. Silent Night. For those who don't know, for those who are not aware, if you don't know about Silent Night this entire time, you probably just can't hear anything. Your whole world is silent. All you can hear is gunshots and other sounds, not voices. So of course you didn't hear about this. Don't play around with me. Don't play around. I'm giving you the benefit of a doubt. Don't play. You know about this movie. Trust me. Silent Night is pretty much about this guy named Goldcheck or whatever his name is. They didn't talk in the movie, so I couldn't tell, but we'll get to that in a minute. All right. And it starts off with him chasing down the people who just accidentally shot his son. Okay. And he wants his revenge. So he tries to get him early and he gets shot in the throat, which takes away his speech and badly wounds him for life. All right. His wife is suffering from this too. They go through a lot with the pain and despair of losing a son and whatnot, what they've been through. And after all that, it's time to murder. All right. And he's ready to train himself to fight because he's never really fought like that. So he's gonna train himself to fight. He's already good with making and fixing things and mechanics and all that. So he worked that out with his skill. All right. And now he's on the hunt to get every single person involved in that shootout that had something to do with his son's death. And that's pretty much the plot to the entire movie. Positives. The action aligns with the skill of the character in this movie. And I respect that. Because he's not it's always that military dude. It's always a military guy, or this guy has some assassin training in the mafia, or he was a ninja in a past life, or it's not that with this one. This guy was an electrician. He was an electrician, so he could work with electricity and put things together and all that. That's all he had. He had to train himself to fight. So when he did these fight scenes, you could tell he was still a little rusty after the brief training he did, which was, in my opinion, not long enough still. And the little gun training he put himself, the gun practice he put himself through, still not long enough to practice, but he jumped out, early and did what he had to do, right? So you could kind of tell that he still needed some brushing up on his fight skills, but he had to go in it. Time was wasting. He had to go in there and get the revenge done with. And it showed through the battles and him struggling. There was a struggle. There was some struggling from time to time. He got hurt a little more than he should have from time to time. Made some mistakes. Made some rookie mistakes. And it showed. I respect that they kept that realness within the action of the film. All right? Another positive. The emotion you felt when they were mourning their son's death. It took a little minute, as it should. It should take a minute for you to mourn your son getting shot. Okay, it should take a while, actually. Probably longer than what it took him to get over it. Not get over it, but just kind of brush it over, the emotion, and start with his revenge plot. But yeah, I respect the time they took. It showed him crying. You're gonna have to cry, getting angry to, I wish, I could have done this. I can't believe this. Denial that it actually happened. It was just Christmas. Christmas had just happened. The presents were still under the tree. He had to send his present to his grave. That's crazy. And then every child or little kid he saw, or, that was slightly Hispanic or something like that, he saw that as his kid, because the kid was half Hispanic, half white like himself. And so he saw a kid later on in the movie, and he came to hug it because he saw his son, and the mother had to push him away. And, that's going to happen. That's going to happen. It's a psychological thing going on with your character there. All right. So this is completely, totally believable. All right. When you're watching this. If he wasn't to do something a little off like this, why this is still really fresh, then that would not be normal to anyone to react like that. So I love how they kept it real as far as the emotion that was spent through the movie. You're still grieving while you're on this revenge quest, and it's some things are going to happen. There's going to be some things that happen that's going to kind of mess your head up, because maybe you're not quite ready to go out there like that. All right. Last positive. The silent treatment. Oh, the silent treatment. We haven't gotten a silent treatment like this since Quiet Place and Quiet Place 2. All right. And I didn't think any other movie was going to try to do this, but now we have John Woo trying it out with an action movie. So instead of sci-fi, it's action now. And that's a whole different kind of genre to play this whole game with. All right. Because for a first part of the movie, I was a little thrown off. Like, why is no one else talking? I understand why he can't talk, because his throat's gone. But why is no one else talking in this movie? And it started to irritate me. All the whispering in people's ear, and the wife couldn't talk, or she was just so it's an effect to the movie to kind of get a better reaction out the audience, or just kind of it's the effect to the movie. It's a silent treatment. It's gonna make the action better. All right, and it kind of did. It made the suspense a little more suspenseful, as if I might put it. Okay. You didn't have all this extra dialogue to go off of. You just had to bear through it with the characters. You didn't know what was going to come next. You didn't know what was going on. You can kind of just guess from the whispering and they had to write stuff down, and they were texting. They did more texting than talking at all. All right. So that was the thing. You didn't even hear the phones ring. Now that I think about it. And so they kind of played that into the movie pretty well. All right. That was pretty cool to just kind of try another genre with the whole silent treatment thing. So what were they gonna do next? They're gonna do a horror next? Or are they gonna do a drama with silence? A comedy with silence? Could work. Could work. All right. Negatives. His wife really wasn't a ride or die. Let me explain this to you. Now, I understand it's hard enough going through losing a child and whatnot like that. So how am I to sit here and speak on what somebody should do when this actually occurs? I don't even have kids to even go through this predicament. But I know one thing that I would want. If I had a wife and we had the kid and we lost a child, I want my wife to stay with me through everything I do. Everything I do. When I say I'm going to do this, you know why I'm doing this. You better be right behind me. Right behind me. You're gonna train with me. I don't care. He was training to fight and all this and doing defense mechanisms and defense classes and all that, whatever, tapes and watching all that and learning how to shoot. She needs to learn how to shoot too. We're going to go down in this together. That was both our kid. That was both our son. But what she decided to do was leave. She left him. She left his ass and wrote him letters. Like, I hope you're doing okay because, I'm not going to be there. I don't want nothing to do with that. Oh, you don't want nothing to do with that, but it's your son too. I don't care if you don't like the decision I'm making. You need to ride with me on this one. All right. We got to get these people. We got to get them. So what's with the running away? I didn't like that. That was it was a little sketchy on her behalf. That didn't rub me the right way at all. I would like you to stick around and just be a soldier for your husband. Can you do that? There are plenty of other movies where the wives did stick around. All right. They stuck around even though they couldn't do anything but hide and run when the danger really went into effect, but still they didn't run completely off to another like zip code or something like that. It's just disappointing. Another negative. He can cry, but he can't talk. Let me explain this question I just asked. So no one can talk in this movie, right? And so his vocal cords, they were gone. No sound is coming out. He was in that mirror trying to scream and he couldn't scream. It was like, ah. But when he got to the house and he looked in his house and the feeling started hitting him. He started crying and you could hear the, I was like, how can we hear you crying now? I don't know if that was a mistake or if maybe there's something I don't know about damaged vocal cords when they get shot through your throat, close range. Maybe there's something I don't know. Maybe I could talk to, a damage expert of bodily harm, or I don't know. You tell me something. Can you still cry but not talk when your vocal cords have been shot off? Is that a thing? Because it doesn't make sense to me at all. I can't explain that. That's a little weird. That's a little weird. There are other sounds and noises that came out of people's mouths that shouldn't have if no one can talk. So how do you pick and choose what noises come out of people's mouths in a silent movie like this? That would be my actual question. All right, because it didn't compute to me. All right. Last negative. There were a lot of dumb decisions made in this movie. I'm going to start off by saying this. Yes, I know when you make some decisions that you really would make in real life, there'd be no movie. But I'm going to say it here and now. And this goes for any other action movies going down the line, for any villains in an action movie. If you're an assassin or you're someone who's trained or has killed before or, done that before, why would you not aim for the head? You aim for the throat? You aimed for the throat. This guy's down on the ground, helpless, and you aim for his throat. Yeah, just a convenient plot armor right there. You know, because you needed more of the movie to exist, right? so it could, that could be the whole theme to the movie, was he can't talk because the guy shot in his throat, thinking that would stop him somehow. Well, it should have. Let's be honest. Some people would have been out of there. They'd have been gone. But he survived it. You need to go for the head. Assassins, take notes. Take notes. Go for the head. Headshots. Duh. It doesn't even make sense. And there's some other things in here where our protagonist froze up because he saw a female antagonist, and he looked to her eyes, and he couldn't get rid of her. He couldn't make her disappear for some reason. What, did you see your wife? I don't understand. It's your kid that got disappeared, not your wife. Snap out of it, man. Get in the game. That cost you some things. I'm not going to say too much, but it did cost him some things, all right? That he could have just avoided all the way through with that. It doesn't make sense. Then you have Kid Cudi hunting him down the whole time, and he's supposed to be this officer. So, not going to say too much, but of course, eventually through the movie, he catches up with them. And he involves himself in the situation. Now, when you involve yourself in a situation and you're a cop, wouldn't you have a bulletproof vest? Wouldn't you have some kind of vest on? Why would you not have a vest? Why would you go in there bare-chested? The main character didn't go in there bare-chested. He had a vest on, but the cop didn't have a vest. I don't know what to make of that. But I do know I'm giving this movie a hell yes, a hell yeah. It's really good. The action was out there. It's a whole silent treatment with an action movie now. I like how they put a little turn and twist on that one. All right. Great efforts for whatever you were trying there. You accomplished it. All right. That's a great effect to watching this film. All right. I need you to press that like button, share, and you better subscribe.